Hi there, Lindsay here. Today we're going to talk about the big sparkly elephant in the room, and that's glitter. I have been seeing articles shared on Facebook. I've been watching videos on social media, and I have been hearing people calling for a ban on glitter, and I had to learn more about this because I'm a crafter. I really like using glitter in my projects. I think it gives a nice sparkle and just makes things more special. I craft with children, and children love to use glitter, and I loved using glitter as a child. I love seeing the glitter displays at the craft store and the packages with all the sparkly different colors and textures and different crunchiness or grain size of glitter. I just love it, and it really made me feel bad to think that a product that I've used for so long, my cat's right like there on the table, by the way, a project that I've used so long could be harmful to the environment. So let's get down to where this is coming from, and we're going to actually compare some biodegradable glitter versus standard versus glass glitter in a few minutes. So that's the cat, by the way, hopping around, making things wiggle, sorry. So we will get into some options coming up later, but first of all, I want to kind of talk about whether it's a big problem or not. And you are more than welcome to weigh in the comments down below, but first I would like you to hear what I found out in my research. So glitter's a microplastic. Any piece of plastic that is smaller than 5 millimeters is considered a microplastic. So sequins, glitter, things like that. And where this is coming from is the recent ban on microbeads. And I'm not talking about the crafting microbeads that you and I probably use in our projects, the little glass holeless beads. Microbeads that they're talking about that they've banned are used in beauty products, and they're actually made of plastic. And there's honestly, like in a bottle of face wash, there could be as much as a vial of glitter's worth of these plastic microbeads. I think they've been pretty much banned everywhere, but those beads were getting used, obviously, to wash people's faces and in body wash and whatnot, then going down the drain and eventually making its way into the waterways and then into the bellies of fish, where it can fill up their stomachs and make them virtually starve to death. And also the chemical in these microbeads, PET, can leach into the meat of fish, so when people consume the fish, then they're getting those endocrine disruptors in their bodies as well. So that's where the real problem is coming from. And so once they banned microbeads, they were saying, scientists were saying, well, we should probably ban glitter as well. They're not really talking about our crafting glitter. What they're talking about is body glitter and glitters in cosmetics and glitters that would be used like at music festivals when people just coat themselves with glitter. That's more of the problem because that's getting washed down the drain. That's getting rinsed off in the shower, whereas if you're using a little glitter in a card or a scrapbook page or to glaze a Christmas ornament, that's not getting washed down the drain. And if it does end up in the environment eventually when a Christmas card gets thrown away or an ornament gets broken, the glitter is generally being swept up, put in a trash bag, and sent to landfill, which, stuff being sent to landfill isn't perfect, but it's better that it's in a landfill than it's in our environment. So I want to talk about some different types of glitter, some alternatives you can use if you don't want to be using these microplastics. But also, I want to stress the fact that there's been no scientific research done on glitter in the environment. Before they banned microbeads, the UK government did a huge sampling of fish in the English Channel. They took 500 samples from different areas in the channel and they tested them. Microbeads were present in most of the fish, but glitter wasn't. They couldn't find glitter. And I don't know if it's because it's so fine and so small that it just passes through undissolved, or if it just wasn't that big of a problem and wasn't in concentrations enough in the water to show up in samples. But there's been no scientific studies done, and the information I found about the English Channel study was from the National Geographic website, so I think that's a pretty well-trusted source. I think this is kind of like a pile-on type call for a ban. If this is bad, then this is bad too, let's ban it all. And I think that's premature, and I think it is, I think the cost of banning this product is worse than than us using it. So first of all, I mean, if you've got a drawer of glitter, because I was thinking, well, what am I going to do if glitter's bad? Do I just I can't throw my glitter away. I've got this whole drawer full of glitter. If I throw it away, then it's going right into the landfill. So that's not good. And probably even worse because it would get the vials would get broken over, and then the glitter would get blown around in a landfill potentially. I enjoy using it. I want to keep it. I want to keep using it. It's not a supply that goes out of style that you would like buy it one season, use it twice, and throw it away. Glitter doesn't go out of style. You're going to use that same glitter in 25 years. It's still going to be as relevant as it is today. So there are very few craft products that are like that. So I really don't think using it in a crafting application is a bad thing. There are far worse things we use in our crafts that would cause more harm, that nobody is asking us to ban. Nobody's asking us to consume less products that arrive in plastic packaging. Nobody's asking us to consume less paper. And yet the upstream waste of these products are bad too. So let's kind of put everything into perspective a little bit. But if you want to change your ways, there are definitely different options that you can find, or if you have no glitter and you're looking to purchase sustainably, there are definitely different things that you can go for. So I made a little chart here. I took the 3 different kinds of biodegradable, eco-friendly glitter that I have and decided to compare them to standard glitter and glass glitter so that you can find the right glitter for your project. Now, I've also found the adhesives make a big difference when you're using a biodegradable glitter versus a standard glitter. So what I did was I made a chart here, and I'm using standard glitter, eco glitter, and glass glitter. And you could also be using glass microbeads, which if you go buy microbeads in a craft store, you're not getting these plastic things that they put in face wash. You're getting teeny tiny little glass seed beads that don't have holes in them. They're so small they don't have holes. That's what those are. So don't worry if you have packages of microbeads and you're like, oh no, I'm polluting. If they're from a craft store, they're glass and you're totally fine. And chances are whatever project you put them on, it wouldn't be ending up in the ocean or the rivers or streams. So our standard glitter is made from plastic, usually a polyester or PET plastic. That's the same material that those microbeads from face washes are made from, that they've banned and they're trying to eliminate from the environment. You can see when used with dry adhesive, you get a really nice shimmer and sheen on white and black paper. They're very reflective, so they appear opaque on black paper. I've used them with wet glue, just regular PVA glue, which is your standard wet glue. And really the iridescence, the shine, the sparkle doesn't really change whether you use dry adhesive or wet adhesive. You just might have a different texture to the wet adhesive depending on how thickly you put it down or how thick the adhesive was. For instance, if you used a thick glue, you could draw a picture and actually have a raised image when you put your glitter down because of the thickness of your glue. And that would be PVA glue is like your Elmer's glue, any standard kind of synthetic glue like that, like your white glue. And then I did the same thing with the eco glitter, the biodegradable glitter. And something I noticed is that it did have a little bit of a harder time adhering to the dry adhesive, but I found the sparkle to be pretty comparable. I don't think you would if you used eco glitter for a project, I don't think somebody's gonna be like, well, that's not sparkly enough. I think looking at them side by side, I can see that this is a little less sparkly, but I don't think it's like, whoa, that's not even glitter, might as well sprinkle sugar on it. No, it's fine. If you want to use biodegradable glitter, you're not really going to be losing that much in case of sparkle when using dry adhesive. I think I'm going to put this silvery holographic eco glitter in my Tim Holtz glitter duster because I think that makes a huge mess. I'm always getting glitter everywhere with that, so I would much rather have it be eco glitter, biodegradable glitter, if it is going to go all over the place. So that's one instance where I'm going to make a switch. I'm going to use the eco glitter for that product because I know that I waste more glitter when I use that. It just goes in the air and it goes everywhere. And having kids and pets, I would much rather, and knowing that I'm going to be vacuuming up excess glitter from that or dumping it in the trash because I glittered something in a box, I'll use eco glitter because I think the sparkle's just fine. It's enough sparkle. I don't feel like I'm really losing. I'm gaining more than I'm losing in that instance. You can see though, when you're using a wet adhesive, especially like a thicker wet adhesive, that you do lose some of the sparkle, especially with the finer glitters. Not so much with the coarse glitter. I think the coarse glitter actually is fine on the wet adhesive biodegradable glitter, but the finer biodegradable glitters do tend to lose a little bit of sparkle. However, I think if you're doing a thin coat like I would be with the glitter spritzer, glitter mister thing, I think it's such a dry application and I'd be using such a small amount of glue. I don't think it would be an issue. I think I'd be fine doing that. So If you're going to use the Eco Glitter, I would recommend use a dry adhesive, or just be aware that it might be a little bit less sparkly, or maybe use a more chunky Eco Glitter because that's going to just hold up a little bit better. I think what happens is as it hits the water, it wants to start to degrade. There's also compostable glitter. Compostable glitter and biodegradable glitter are a little bit different. Biodegradable glitter, I believe, will start to degrade as soon as it gets hits moisture, not like as soon, but eventually within a reasonable time of getting out into the environment, whereas compostable glitter, I believe, needs bacteria to eat it up, you know, to kind of crunch and munch it to turn it back into soil. So that would be the difference. I don't know if your home compost conditions are right to break down that glitter or not, but that's something to consider. Biodegradable should just break down in the environment, and the compostable, I think, has to have the bacteria in certain conditions to break down. Now the other option here, I don't know if you can see my cat. Oh, there she is. She's right there. She's right at petting height. So about just below the camera. And she's wiggling the camera, so I apologize if that's making you guys seasick at all. Glass glitter is a really lovely glitter. It is wonderful for getting a vintage sparkle to something. It's not as sparkly, because it's just, the glass just isn't quite as reflective as the aluminum coated plastic particles that you would see in your traditional glitter, but it's really pretty and it's more granular, and it just gives you that vintage vibe of like old Christmas ornaments. That originated from Germany. You always hear about German glass glitter, and that's what you have right here. It's best for wet adhesive. If you are going to use it with a dry adhesive, I recommend using like a score tape and heating it and putting your glitter down and heating it again. Also, if you're using glass microbeads, I recommend that method because heat activates your score tape, or your I think a scrappy tape is the same. You know, the type of the sequin tape that you pull the liner off. You want to make sure you heat it because that activates it and makes it really grab the glitter, and you don't want this coming off because it's sharp. It's shards of glass. I would recommend using a wet adhesive because it will really trap it down there. And just keep in mind, anything you're putting into a PVA glue, you're basically turning it into a hunk of plastic. So, you know, is it really worth getting eco glitter if you're just going to put it into PVA glue where it's going to be trapped in plastic? So that's another thing. That's another reason why I think that we could end up trying to do good, but not actually doing any good. You know, because we're just taking something that would have been plastic trapped in plastic, and we're taking something that's not plastic and trapping it in plastic. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Definitely, I think a lot of crafters have been worried over this, but it's the problem isn't with responsible crafters, it's with the beauty industry. And when these big beauty companies start making changes, which they are, that's where the big impact is going to come from. Not from you and I not using glitter on a project. That's going to come way upstream in order to make a big impact in the environment. So I know some people are going to be typing, you just want to use your glitter, so you're just making excuses. Well, maybe I am. I like glitter, but I really don't think it's the biggest problem, and I think there's way bigger problems in the crafting industry that is wasteful than glitter. And maybe I'll get into that some other video, but for right now we're talking about glitter. So some of these applications are not going to be good for all situations. For instance, glass glitter is not going to be great in a scrapbook because it could cut your page protectors. Also, a scrapbook's not going to be landfilled, so you might as well use the glitter you want because it's going to be around for generations. We make scrapbooks archival so they will last for generations. So no point using a glass glitter for that. Also, you don't want to use glass glitter on projects you're doing with children because they're very sensory. They're going to be touching it. They're going to be sprinkling it. They can get it in their skin, under their fingernails. They can cut themselves. And God forbid, even, you know, kids, I mean, they're always got their hands in their mouths. You don't want them eating glass glitter. So this is definitely a grown-up only project. Now, if I'm going to do a project in a classroom full of kids, I'm going to grab my eco glitter because why not? I mean, if I know that chances are stuff's going to get spilled, stuff's going to have to be swept up and thrown away. If it's a project we're doing outside, the wind can come by and blow stuff away. Absolutely, I would use the eco glitter because for me, the gain I get from using that product is much more than anything I'd be losing for a slightly sparkly standard glitter or a slightly larger selection of colors I could get in a standard glitter. So, you know, just kind of keep the use in mind and, you know, think about what you're gaining and what you're losing. And you're going to find that in some situations using the eco glitter is going to be a great gain. And in other situations, you're not going to gain anything by using the eco glitter, and you're going to be losing stuff in both sparkle and color selection and whatnot. And if it's going to be in a scrapbook layout, it's going to be on a Christmas ornament, something that's not going to be landfilled, then then why not? And if you're doing a Christmas card and you're using glue and you're putting, or even the double-sided adhesive, if you're putting eco glitter in that, then you're basically trapping it in plastic, and there's still going to be plastic in the environment because you're bonding it to that. So it's kind of almost more on like the how much are you going to be wasting in a project. Like if I'm working with kids, there's going to be a lot more waste. You know, just with kids over shaking, over sprinkling, I might not be able to get it back in the container. It might get mixed up with other things, so I can't put it back in a container without contaminating my whole glitter supply. So for that, yeah, it's much more, I would gain a lot more by using the eco glitter since I know a lot of it's going to get thrown away. But at crafting at home, I rarely have a lot of stray glitter. People talk about glitter going everywhere when you use it on a project. I don't really have that problem unless I'm using that glitter duster thing, which goes everywhere when I use that. But my general crafting, I don't seem to get glitter everywhere. So that's not that huge of a deal for me. For me to throw away the glitter I have and go buy all eco glitter, there's way more waste there because of the upstream waste of the new glitter that I'm buying and all the stuff I'd be throwing away and going right to landfill. There's no point in that. You might as well just use it up and not waste it, because if it's gonna eventually, if everything eventually is trash, if everything that we buy, that we have is eventually trash, we might as well get as much use from it before it ends up in that landfill. And that's the way I see it anyway. And I hope this has alleviated some of your anxiety about using glitter in your projects. Or if you disagree with me, you can let me know. Please be polite, because we all have varying opinions here. I did quite a bit of research this week on this video. I filmed it a couple times because I was like, no, I need a little more information on this. I need a little more information on that. There's also a lot of greenwashing going out there, people claiming their glitter is biodegradable when it's not. This eco-friendly glitter by Hemway, they have a really big selection of it. Only comes in big containers though, and I think it's because they supply a lot to paint makers and cosmetics makers, so they have these larger packets. I think that if you're getting this, you probably would want to have crafty friends to share it with, unless you're teaching, your school teacher or something, because there's just so much in here. I think they also supply to like paints and coatings industries, but they have a really decent selection of the colors on Amazon, so you should be able to find that worldwide. But I saw that Stuart Semple, the Culture Hustle company, has like an assortment of 5 colors that are smaller, compostable glitters. And I'll try to find some other resources down below that you can find more sustainable craft glitters if you want to do that. I honestly think the less waste option is to use what you have. If you've got a drawer full of glitter, the best thing you can do is use that up before you buy new. It's just like if you're going to buy a car. If you've got a perfectly good car that runs, but it runs on gas, and you're thinking, well, I should probably go buy a Tesla because that's going to run on electricity and that'll be so much better for the environment. Well, you have to weigh a couple things. First, the upstream waste of that brand new car. You know, that's how long would you have to drive that Tesla for it to counteract how long you could have driven your old car and the waste creating that new car. And then you have to determine where that electricity is coming from. Is it coming from a clean source, or is it coming from a dirty source? Is it coming from a source that's just as bad as the gas that you'd put in there? So a lot of times we do things trying to do right and meaning to do the right thing, and we end up doing something that's worse for our pocketbook, that's worse for the environment, and that just ends up creating more waste. So I'm not telling you what to do or what to buy, but I want to hopefully alleviate your anxiety. If you're someone like me who enjoys using glitter, but you want to do the right thing for the environment, I think we can all craft responsibly. It's all about how we consume, how we dispose of our products, how intentional we are with our dollars. And I'm not perfect. I never claim to be, but the world doesn't need one perfect environmentalist. The world needs everybody doing their best. And hopefully this can help you do your best. And if you want to avoid glitter altogether, that's totally fine. I am not like trying to start some big glitter advocacy group, but I want you to feel that you can use your stuff you've bought and paid for responsibly, and you know, not just throw everything away because you're worried that it's going to go in the landfill, but that just puts it in the landfill sooner. You know what I mean? I don't think we need to ban craft glitter. I do think that companies that are making products that are designed to be worn on your body and washed away, anything you're designed to be worn on your body, I think should be scrutinized, because if you're having chemicals leach into your body, if you're ingesting them, if it's going right down your drain into your waterways, into your septic, into the environment, then yeah, there needs to be some scrutiny. But the smaller amounts that we're using here on craft projects are not making a dent. And most of the things that we're making are not being designed to be landfilled right away. And like I mentioned, with greeting cards, you can use the eco glitter, but if you're trapping it down with PVA glue, then you're basically encapsulating this biodegradable product in plastic. So let's get a little real and not freak out when we start hearing something needs to be banned. Look at the big picture. Decide for yourself. I want to do right by you. I want to do right by the environment. But if we all just stopped creating because everything we create has a small impact, I don't know, I think there's just more good in making a card, making a painting, sending a real card to somebody rather than an email. I think even though there is waste generated by, mailing a card to somebody and there is a little bit of a carbon footprint as it goes to the mail, I still think that's better than sending an email. You can disagree with me. That's what the comment section's for. Disagree with me if you want. But I think the good that does and the spirits that it lifts and the brightness that it brings to our day is worth it. And I know that's going to be controversial, and some people are going to be like, how dare you say that? But the world can be a dark place, and if we can send somebody a little bit of sparkle, send somebody an uplifting message, make somebody feel good, I think it's worth it. So there you have it. Everybody, right? I just feel like I'm going to get so much controversy from this, but, I'm going to keep using my glitter. I'm not going to be, throwing it in the air and, wasting it, but I'm going to use it. And I hope if you have glitter in your drawer, you use it too, and you appreciate it and you enjoy it. Because I think that's really the bottom line here is that, buy things that you are going to use, you're going to appreciate, that you're going to not just hoard or not use. You bought it to use it responsibly, brighten somebody's day, and consume wisely, I guess. I don't know if this made any sense. I hope it did. My cat seemed to enjoy it. Anyway, have a wonderful day. Until next time, happy creating, crafting, sparkling, whatever you want to do today is good.